Clouds everywhere. And we're on. Yes.
We're on. And oh my God, this is some kind of a crazy conversation that's going to happen today. World. This is Shruti Pandey, and today I have with me Celine, who is the Canva community lead. And oh my God, like, have we clicked or have we clicked?
We have definitely click.
And it's so amazing meeting you and talking to you. And I want to do the mandatory things first, which is I want to thank Vara Lakshmi, who made me meet or get or destined to meet that I'm having this conversation with her today. And I find you such a lively, spirited person, and I'm so happy that we're doing this today. So thank you so much.
Thank you, likewise, and I'm very happy to be here.
Same here. Do you want to say any few words or something before we start into the question? Because I took a lot of your space and didn't give you a chance to.
No, not at all. I mean, I don't know what I can say. Just, I guess, a quick intro on me. I'm a community person since professional, whatever you want to call it nowadays, I think since 2014, where I started at Yelp as a community manager in my own hometown in Frankfurt at the time. So I was in Germany, and I think it's been like an amazing experience, because if you start in community, Yelp definitely is just like the school for community, because they were one of the, I think, first companies who really invested in communities worldwide and saw what it can impact. And I think a lot of businesses didn't at the time, and people didn't even know what a community manager is. So I had a quite utopic job description, and of course now a lot of people know about it. And so since this year I'm working at Canva in their creators program, and I'm leading the Canva creators in Germany at the moment. So it's like a dream come true. I've always wanted to work for Canva. And at the same time, I'm also heading the community mentor, which I do on my own. And I have a course coming up for community professionals called the Community Work Academy. So it's going to hopefully launch very soon, in like the next month. So stay tuned.
Congratulations on all these achievements. Like, how greatly you sum it up all. Like, that must be living la vida loca. Is it?
Yes. I'm trying.
Oh gosh, that's amazing, Celine. So it's so good to have you. And can I start my questions? And after this introduction, I don't want to waste any of our time, and I want to really deep down onto the question. So my first question to you is really a very personal one. I don't know if the audiences are interested in this or not, but I'm pretty much interested. I want to understand, how does it feel like working at Canva?
Amazing. I mean, it does. I mean, I have really seriously, truly, and just because I'm working there right now, I've always wanted to work for Canva. Actually, years ago, I think I looked at it at some point too, and at the time it was mostly, I think, all in Sydney, because it's based out of Australia, and Sydney's our HQ. And there was nothing there after Yelp, so I was like, oh damn, because I have used Canva since 2014, 2015. So I am one of the first time users, I think, too. They launched in around 2013 completely live. So at the time there wasn't as many people using it as there are now, and the product was quite different from what it is today, So I'm sorry. And so it has quite, I think, changed since then, which has become, this beautiful product what it is today. And you can tell that the culture and everything and the people behind it have made it what it is today. That's why it feels really great. I have amazing colleagues. I wish I could meet them personally, but we're all across the globe. Basically, it's very hard. And yes, it's just a great set of people with amazing minds that are working every day to make Canva even better than what it already is.
Wow. No, I mean, I myself have used the product a couple of times, just for the fun of it, because it's so artistic and it's so easy to use. Like, you feel like using it. So
Yes.
and I think it's one of the dream company for many people, right? Canva. So I wanted to understand, how does it feel like really working or being there? It's really a dream come true. I also want to understand from you, moving to our second question, since you've been in community building for a very long
Mhm.
time, right? So I wanted to understand, what are your top strategies to engage with your community?
Well, I think this is like, I have an entire workbook on this, so I can like go on and on about it. But basically, I think you need to understand this is, I had a few interviews with other community managers on this too, so I'm rambling, I'm sorry. But, you kind of like have to understand why people are a part of your community, right? I think the value proposition. So that makes things a lot easier in engaging them, like why are they there? And that then when you know why they have joined the community, then you can also understand kind of this engagement cycle that I had drawn out. And it's basically like a framework explaining how in the engagement cycle you come in, you're a newcomer, you know, turn into like a visitor, a participant, you become an active member, and then you become like a super member, like the whole 9 yards, I guess you would say. And for that, I think like some of the most important basic things for every community, because you know each community is in the end different too. What's really important is to have rituals in place that over time, you know, people know that they can expect from you, from the community. Let's say, even if it's just a simple every Monday, let's say we welcome new members, or every Friday I get feedback on a product, let's say like Friday feedback, which sounds kind of cool. Or, you know, every Wednesday we have a hangout or an event or something, just over time where they know, okay, I came in, I joined, this is, these are the rituals that are set in place. And then there's of course extra other things that are happening in this community. Is one thing, and to keep them engaged, of course, always, you know, keep the conversation going, start discussion, start something new. At the end of the day, you can only keep people engaged if you have continuously, you know, shared experiences and conversations with them. And I think for me, what I've noticed, like, because yesterday actually we had like a team call and we all talked about what our superpowers are, and I had to think a bit deeper because everybody I think does. And one of the most important ones to me, and the feedback I think I received from people, was also to be authentic. Yeah. And you know, have these connections one-on-one with members sometimes too. You know, we have like the group chat group, people speaking, but also have, you know, one-on-one conversations with people, or hear them out and just let them feel heard, but know that you're not just doing a job, but that they actually feel you are being yourself and you are truly doing it because you love what you're doing. Because if you don't, then just find another job. There's a lot of, you know, any kinds of jobs you can do. I think for community, you really have to have your heart in it. Otherwise, it's the wrong job to be in, definitely. Hosting events, I always said this before. So I did before, obviously, when I was at Yelp, a lot of in real life events, because it's just, Yelp exists off of events, basically. I have no idea what they're doing now with the pandemic or during the pandemic. So I guess they turned to virtual too, I'm sure, as everybody has. I am at the moment hosting, you know, just virtual events too, but I noticed like the difference, whether it's like a social thing or if it's just a workshop. Events is just how you obviously get those people together, and you're not just chatting or, you know, writing in, if you have a forum or emails, but you actually, you know, like you and me, like we, you know, we connect and you see the person, you can talk to them and stuff, and that's really super important to have, even if it's just a coffee hangout, you know, do it. I think that's really engaging, and you will see it too. And if you, yeah, this is something important, if this fits into like the community that you have, to share valuable like insight or information that you have, for example, on your product or something that you're working on, that you say, oh, only community members are the first ones who really, you know, get this insight that we're sharing with you, and that's why this is the value you get when you are a part of it. I think they value that a lot too, and really like it, and it engages them and helps them, you know, create more or participate more, depending on the type of community that you have. It's been like, sorry.
This makes a lot of sense, and you really had it in a very engaging fashion, right? Because you made me think about two things which are very close to my heart as well. So when you started off with your playbook and entire cycle of it. It reminded me of, how we have a software development life cycle. It's a cycle, right? Everything is
Yes, yes.
a cycle. It made me realize, oh, this is a cycle too. And I never saw it that way. And that was beautiful, really. That was really beautiful. Thank you. And the second one, you also reminded me of one of my interviews with one of the community builders I had. He's in another space of product, but he is a community builder, of course. And this is exactly what we spoke that day, that if you, the moment you fake it, the other person knows. The same thing goes for
Yeah.
marketing, the same thing goes for community, the same thing goes for even sales or a solutions engineer, right? The moment you start faking it, and people sometimes, in their arrogance or ego or whatever, they think, okay, we can do this, the client would not know, but that
Yeah,
isn't.
they know. They know.
You know what I'm talking about, right? You know what I'm talking about. And yeah, people know, people are as in flesh and blood like you and me, and they know that you're faking it. And the moment you fake it, it's really not good. And I think you hit the nail right, because if you don't have your heart in community, just don't do it. There's so much
Yes.
options, something which suits you, but don't do this which requires your heart more than other
A
skills.
lot. It's about people, it's about psychology, it's about empathy and understanding those other people as well. And we all have our days and we all have our moods. So if you cannot, put yourself in their shoes, and then I don't know, just get a desk job where you are behind your computer and don't have to speak to people, which is great for you, but this is not it.
Yeah, I think community, like the word suggests, the whole essence comes from the people, right? Otherwise, why would we be having a community in the first place?
Exactly.
It
Doesn't work without them.
doesn't work without them. It could be developers, it could be testers, it could be artists, but whatever group of people they come together is a community. So
Exactly.
this makes sense. And you answered this so beautifully. Thank you so much, Celine.
Thank you.
But you answered this so beautifully, seriously. And it breaks my heart to ask you the last question, but it is a last question. And I'm kind of eager to understand, since you also had been working since many years, right? 2014 is when your real
Yeah.
started. So it's been a long time. Sorry, I don't want to make you sound primitive or anything, but
No, it's a long time. Yes.
I mean in really good respect and regards that you're like an expert on this, right? I mean, I know when I started solutions engineering, people in India didn't know what solutions engineer is. So I can understand how you would have faced, the troubles when it was a novice thing and people are like, what is she doing? So you have been in this community since a long time. Is there a
Mhm.
change now compared to back then? Like, is there any change at all?
Yes, I mean, a lot of things I think have changed. Not the way it functions. I think it functions the same. I think people's perceptions of it have definitely changed. That's like number one, because back in the day, like I said, when I said I'm a community manager, people thought it's a hobby and I don't get paid for it. They're like, oh, that's cool, but what do you really do? I'm like, I really do this. And for some reason, yes, it sounds really fun, and people think it's just, oh, it's super cool, and you get paid for this. So how many? But it's not a full-time job. Like, yes, it is, and I work more than 8 hours a day because there's just so much complexity involved in it that people really do not see. And I think what's definitely changed, which is really great, is that companies and normal business people too have started understanding what it's about and have started investing in it. So the biggest change, I think, if any search in like LinkedIn jobs or something, if you look into it, you see the array of community manager searches that they have now, whereas seriously in 2014, it should be like a screenshot of this. Like there was like one in like 100, and now it's like 95 of them, it's really cool and amazing. But I also have to ask you this, and I'm sure you know it too. It's become a hype a little bit at the moment. I think that companies think I'm looking for a community manager, but what they're actually looking for is a social media manager to handle their social media accounts. And this, I think, to every community manager just gives them like an itch, because it's something so different. Like we're not just, posting on Instagram and Facebook and doing tweets, you know, this is something so so much deeper about human connections and not answering to comments, you know. And I think that's what kind of frustrates a lot of community managers, or vice versa. You see social media managers, but they think it's a cool title to use. So they're like, I'm a community manager. This is my daily job. And I'm like, no, it's not. Like, I don't belittle your job, but like, we have totally two different, you know, job titles and job descriptions. It's not the same thing. So that's something I see quite much.
Wow. No, genuinely, thank you for opening my eyes for it, because you had a lot of truth, and it requires a lot of honesty and strength to say that.
I'm very straight out in this topic.
No, it is so real, right? I mean, people, they don't understand who is supposed to do what. And if a community manager is just supposed to give out like the marketing tweets or post on LinkedIn and Instagram or Twitter, like, how do you build actual relationships, which is your actual real job to do?
Because they think like a following is your community, because those people, they think, they see it as a group, like I have 1,000 followers, so it's a group of 1,000 people. No, it's not a group. Like, the community is like a designated space for it to create ongoing conversations, ongoing experiences. It's not just about, I posted something, people like it and say, oh, great post, and you know, or ask a question about something underneath it. This is like you and me having a conversation and saying, you know, you help me, I help you, this and that, and you know, we create things together, we make events, and the whole experience around it is community, whereas this is something super different, you know. So I think that needs to be educated a little bit in people to understand the difference of the two.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to not say this, but I feel like I have to say this, because it's like creating a safe place or a safe haven for people to really come together,
Yes,
understand that
exactly.
there's something going on, they want to figure out how to use the product or how to use it best, or they know something how to do better, or like if they're facing any issues or challenges. So it's as simple as that, but simple things are difficult
Exactly.
to
Yeah. I think, yeah, we need to educate people more on just understanding, maybe with examples and showing the difference, that they will, I don't know, maybe they have just not seen enough examples, but like I said, I think some people also know the difference, but they just think it's a hype and it's going to sound cooler if I call myself that, or if I have this job description, I'm going to have more applicants because it sounds sexier, and this is on the rise at the moment, which companies do, like I said, where sometimes I really want to write to the HR person and be like, this is like the wrong title you guys are looking for. But you know, I don't want to start a war.
No, thank you so much for answering that question so organically, if I were to say, you know, that word.
Very
But
bluntly.
this is with total honesty, because people don't see this side of community and how it is being used, or like, why create an unnecessary hype for such a humanly role, right? Like, you want to create it for actual interactions.
Yes, exactly. Around the purpose and everything, like, it's not just the purpose, we like this company, let's follow it and talk about it, you know, like, I mean, yeah.
And so waiting for the playbook, right? Is that what you're creating? You mentioned at the beginning, you're creating a beginner's guide or something for community.
No, I have a course coming up. So it's an online course, but I had for a while this workbook, I had circulated it too. It was like the engagement workbook. So I had a lot of these topics in it too, because I think it's like one of the #1 pain points community managers have. I asked a lot of them, and everyone said their biggest pain point is engagement, like #1. And I think we all, as part of our jobs, are trying to dive deeper into it, trying to see like, how can we change this? How can we make it better? And it evolves all the time, you know, there's no one fixed thing. The things I listed are, of course, ones that definitely always work, but you learn as you go and, you know, tweak things or change things and stuff. So this online course is basically, it's, you know, short, sweet. It's about like 1 hour of, you know, videos and tutorials, and then it has like bonuses too, with, you know, guides and workbooks and cheat sheets and, you know, all the good stuff that comes around it with it, and, you know, like a little community group as well, where people can then participate in the course, you know, have our own community and, exchange ideas, ask questions and stuff. So you have that exclusive part too, if you buy the course. So it's coming soon.
Talking to you, I also feel like having a look at it or just seeing what you've created.
Yay! Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah. I already have a feeling that it's going to be something amazing, and I would want to also look at it.
I hope so. I think I'm my biggest critic because I am in the space, and it's not just to make sales in that sense. It's just like, okay, how does it really help the person? And I ask myself again, and then I look at things and I try to change it and tweak it. I think that was one of the things that kind of held me back from launching it quicker. Because I'm not like, okay, I did this, I put it together and it's out. I'm like, no, I need to put more into it. I need to, how can I make it better the whole time? It's one of my qualities and also my curse at the same time.
I totally feel the pain because I call it one of my biggest defects. I come from a testing and automation background, so I deem it my biggest defect.
You test everything.
Yeah, I test everything. And I have friends who would be creating these playbooks and workshops and stuff like that, and they would send it to me to beta test. So
yes.
See and look at it and give us the feedback, and I'll be so happy, like the perks of being a tester and having friends.
I'm like, yes, I'll be your buddy.
and I mean, I think I get your pain also because I don't want to get the gender thing, but we're so hard on ourselves. The world around us is not like our families or our offices. Even we are hard on ourselves. Like, did I do the best? Like, it has to be the best. It has to be the best.
I can do better. Let me try. I totally, I'm exactly that.
Me too. I mean, I would have asked you your zodiac sign, but we are recording this live and I'm not going to do that. I'll keep the question for later.
Yeah. I'll write in the chat.
Oh God, I don't feel like ending this conversation at all. Seriously, Celine, it's so amazing meeting a vibrant person like yourself, and please stay the way
Thank you so much.
In case you have any, the last minute thoughts or wrapping thoughts for this, please feel free. The stage is all yours.
Wow, it's like, okay, bye, mic drop. Well, I think, like I said, I can go on and on and talk about community so much. So thank you so much for having me. And it's been like such a pleasure, and I'm sure we will talk more. But on the professional community note, I think these are like the most important notes that I have said. Of course, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn or wherever else you want, and ask questions. I try to help a lot of people understand what community really is about and how it can really change so much for your business. So it's just a topic that gets me very excited. So that's what I'm here for.
Nice. That's so
Thank
amazing.
you, Dan.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being with us today. Thanks for your time, and thanks for this amazing catch up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I stopped.